It is a spreadsheet with several tabs, so there are several parts of the work today. You will have a spreadsheet attached to the bottom of 2.1. So on the computer, just open it up and it should be attached at the bottom, or it will be attached at the top right, like normal on here. My screen looks slightly different because I'm the teacher, so it's down the bottom for me. Okay, so if I switch to the spreadsheet, it looks very much like this. You have a yellow sheet to begin with. Down the left hand side are some questions, 1 to 8, which are a personality quiz. They don't have to be exact, they are new enough. It's just meant to be for fun, something quickly to do to get some data from you. So the questions include things like what kind of person are you, and each of the options have a letter attached to them to pick from. So you could pick whichever one you think is most like you or nearest to you in the vague area of you. And on the right hand side over here, you're going to put the letters for your answers each time. You can only put one letter each time, so if you weren't C, you can just delete that and put a different letter in for B or something. But I'm going to put C because as the teacher, I'm the leader and people generally do listen to me. So if you scroll down, answer the question 2, put another letter in, and you will notice that there is a number at the bottom which is slowly ticking up. That number is important, and I may ask you to share it so that I can work out what your scores are. Don't worry about it, it's not a test, it's just a personality quiz, and it gives us a little answer for some data for our work today. So once you've done that and got a score and shared it, it is time to move on to the classwork itself. Now there are a list of instructions attached to the course, but what we're going to do, you can either follow this video or you can follow these instructions. So we're going to work on sheet 1 at the bottom here. So we're going to click there on our laptop to access that. So I'm going to say the step numbers as they appear on the instruction sheet so that you can follow along with the instruction sheet if you want. So step 1, open the sheet, done that. Step 2, rename the sheet 1 tab at the bottom to houses. So we're going to tap on this down arrow here and we're going to choose rename. And we're going to call it houses. And press enter to finish. Okay, step 3, change the colour of the house names. These are the house names here. Okay, and we're going to say Slotherin is going to be green. So we're going to go up to the A button and you can pick a green out of here. Robin Toes is blue because obviously it's like Ravenclaw. Huff and Puff is like Hufflepuff, so it's going to be a yellowy colour, and Gryffindor is like Gryffindor, so we're going to be a red colour. Okay, step 4, change the house name font to size 14 and make it bold. So we're going to select those houses. To do that, I'm going to click in the middle of the cell, hold my mouse down or hold my trackpad down, and I'm going to scroll down to A7, where it says Gryffindor. And my instructions were to make it size 14, so here's the font size. And to make them bold, so we're looking for the B, here's the B for bold. Okay, step 5, widen the column so all of the house names can be seen properly. Well, to be perfectly honest, they can be seen properly, but what we're going to do is we're going to narrow it. So if you hover just between the A and the B on that line there, you will get a little option to click and drag the column. And if you click and drag, you can make it bigger. Okay, so make it just slightly narrower. Okay, step 6. Highlight cells A3 and B3. A3 and B3. I'm clicking in the middle and dragging my mouse across. Make the font bold. Up in the toolbar. Make it 14. Choose from the drop down. And centre align. Now, centre align is hiding over here under this drop down menu here, and you can pick centre align there. Okay, now I notice that my number is now pretty narrow, so I need to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. I was hovering over that line in between to drag it out. Okay, step 7, insert a black border around the table. Here is our table, so I'm going to click in cell A3, holding my mouse button down or my trackpad down, and I'm going to pull down to cell B7 and let go. My borders button is in the toolbar. Here it is up here. Tick on borders and click this one here for all borders. Step 8, in cells B4 to B7. So let's find B4 to B7. Here's B4 to B7. Enter the numbers calculated earlier for Hogwarts House from the whiteboard. So if we were in school, we'd put this on the whiteboard. You can pick the numbers that I've given you from the class, or you can enter some random ones in. And normally nobody gets put into Slytherin, so we normally say something like 2. I'm just going to make some numbers out of 5. So there we go. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 7, 6. You can use those, or you can use the ones from the lesson. That's absolutely fine. And centre align these numbers. So we're going to click and drag to select them all, and then we're going to use our alignment button to centre align from the toolbar. Okay, step 9, highlight cell A1. Here is cell A1. It's put the title in. Make the title size 18. Here we go, and make it bold. Choose a font style that you like. Here's the font styles that you've got. So you can scroll down, there's many that you've probably got installed, and there we go, picked one. Choose a different colour. The colour for fonts and text is here again. So we're just going to pick a random colour, say pink. And then it says in step 10, merge cells A1 to D1. So here is cell A1. We're going to click and drag in the middle of it to D1. It's really important that you click in the middle of the cell and hold down, not doing anything else like the corners. Okay, and then we're going to find the Merge Cells button in the toolbar, which you used in the last bit of classwork. If you scroll along to find the Borders button, it's right next door, Merge Cells. There we go, but that won't work until you do the selection over here. Okay, step 9, that was, we've done that. Step 10, we've done that. Step 11, we're on to. So we're inserting an appropriate image on the right hand side. Now, as you're on the computer, on the laptop or the desktop, you have the option of this insert menu at the top here. If we do insert image, choose over cells, so it lays over the top. Then you've got lots of different options, but you probably want to go to this one that says Google image search, and then do a search for an image, like Hogwarts perhaps. And just pick an image that comes out. That looks fair enough. Okay, and insert. Super. Hopefully, in a second. There we go. Sometimes it takes a moment. If that image doesn't work, just go back and pick another one. Okay, just I'm going to resize by dragging the corners, and I'm going to shuffle it over to about here so it's out of the way. Okay, step 11. That was step 12 in cell C8. So here's C, here's number 8, cell C8. Write the words total number. I'm going to press enter, and that takes me down into cell C9 where I'm going to write average number. I'm going to press enter or return key, and I'm going to do in C10, I'm going to write highest number, and then in C11 I'm going to write lowest number. And it says make these bold, C8 to 11 bold. So I'm going to highlight them and I'm going to tap bold. Step 13, in cell D8, write a formula to add up the total number of students in all of the houses. Hint, use the sum function, which you will find in the toolbar. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to look up in our toolbar at the top right on the laptop and the desktop. And you might have a little button that says more. If you don't, you'll be able to see these icons straight away. And you'll have this icon, which is like a funny E, which is our functions button. We're going to click on that, and we're going to choose sum, which means adding up. So sum. Okay, and as you can see in our cell, it's put the letters equals sum brackets, and it's waiting for us to tell it what to do. So we're now going to take our mouse and we're going to click, hold, and drag down the numbers. I know that you can add those up in your head probably, but we're going to get the computer to do it as if we've got 200 houses. Alright, it's made our formula here, and now we're just ready to press the return key or the enter key on our keyboard. And there we go. Now, don't do the autofill if it suggests this. So no thank you, because actually you don't want to do all the adding up each time. You're doing different things each time. So let's close that. Now we've got to do average number, which is step 14. So in cell D9, write a formula to do the average number. Average in this case is a mean. So top right, we're going to do the functions button again, and this time I'm going to choose average. And it's put average in there. So we're going to select the cells again, click and drag in the middle, all the way down, and press enter or return on the keyboard. Now we're going to do the highest number. I know that you can pick which is the highest number just by looking at 4 numbers, but we're going to imagine we've got like 200 bits of data and know how to get the computer to do it. So once again, we're going up to our functions button and we're going to choose max for the largest number. This is step 15, by the way. And then we're going to click and drag down and press enter. And then finally, step 16 for this part is we're going to write one for the lowest number. So this time we're going to go back up to our functions button, choose min, pick which cells we want to pick from, and press enter. Super. Now, step 17 is to add a graph chart to display the number of students in each house. So to do this, we need to first select the data we want to make a chart out of. So I'm going to click in cell A3, hold down, and I'm going to drag down to cell B7 to say this is the data I want to use. Now I've got a couple of options of what I want to do. I can either click that button there, or I can go insert and chart. Okay, either of those ways. And that will then bring up, in a second, my information about charts. There we go, it took a second. And I can just say, yeah, got it, whatever. And it's got number versus house. It's got each of the columns for each of my houses. I can muck about with the stuff in here if I want to, but to be perfectly honest, I would ignore it for now and just close it because that chart is perfectly fine. However, it is over the top of all of our data, so let's just make it a little bit smaller by dragging the corner. And let's shuffle it underneath, or you can put it over to one side and move it around, however you want to arrange it. Super. And then finally, step 18, it says use colour, pictures and fonts to make the sheet look great. So maybe you want to put a little table around this, maybe you want to change the colours on here, change the fonts, arrange your pictures, add another picture, up to you. That's all we need to do for the classwork. However, there is an extension. So if you tap on test your skills down the bottom here, you will see a green spreadsheet. Now you might think this is super easy because you know how to add 5 and 3 together in your head. You know the answer is 8. However, it's not about your math skills, it's about your formula skills. Writing in spreadsheets here. So we're going to use a formula this time. So type in F2 and you're going to type equal sign, and then you're going to click on cell B2, and then you're going to add, because it says add here, so you're going to press the plus button, which might be shift and the equal sign to get the plus. Look on your keyboard, you all know. And then you're going to click on cell D2 to get the formula equals B2 plus D2. And then you press enter. And it will tell you correct on that side. Super. Now we've got the subtraction. So again, we're going to press the equal sign. We're going to click on the 8 there in cell B4. We're going to use the minus sign now on the keyboard, and then we're going to tap on cell D4 to be able to subtract. So our formula is equal B4 minus D4. Make sure the equals is at the start, otherwise it won't work. Okay, we used multiply last week, so I'm sure that you can remember what sign we need to use for that, and we've also used it today, I think. And then we're going to use the divide sign. Now the divide sign isn't what you think it is on the computer. So let's do this one together. So question 4 is, we're going to type the equal sign first, then we're going to click on the 14, and then you're going to look on your keyboard and you're going to find a /. Now if you've got a number pad on the right hand side of your keyboard that looks like a calculator, it's over there and it's nice and easy to find. Otherwise it's normally at the bottom right of your keyboard, sort of around the letter L and M, somewhere down there. So there's a / down there, and then you're going to click on cell D8. So you've got that formula of equals B8 /, meaning it's leaning over towards the right, and then D8. Press enter, and that will give you that division. Make sure you've done all 10 of these questions using formulas, not using the calculator, and then you'll be able to hand in your spreadsheet and your classwork, and your exceeding extension is finished, so you can go back to the classwork page of the Google Classroom and have a look at some of the extras to play about with. Well done!